First on-screen kiss, a kiss in Heartstopper, first of many with Kit, and it's really cold, and my lips were quivering. Hi, I'm Joe Locke, and I'm here with BuzzFeed, and here are my first times. My first celebrity crush was probably Fred from Scooby-Doo, in like the animation version, yeah. Or there's this guy who used to do kids TV in the UK called Steve Backshall. He'd do this like wildlife show, and I think I had a bit of a crush on him. Fred from Scooby-Doo is hot, that's why. He's like a preppy American jock. First time you got recognized in public, it was in New York, like a month before Heartstopper came out. We were in a bookshop, and I remember someone recognized me. Interesting experience, because it was something I was not, now I'm very used to it, but then I didn't know what to do. First time you were starstruck. I've met a lot of very cool people, and I'm very lucky with that. I don't know if I've ever been starstruck, actually. Yeah. Sorry. Definitely people I would be, but I just haven't met them. Adele, probably. But I think I'd know, but I wouldn't want to be. I want to play it cool. First movie, TV show, or actor that made you want to become an actor. I used to be obsessed with The Goonies, and I remember wanting to be in that film so bad. And these kids, when I was younger, like getting to live my dream I was really jealous of them, even though it was like 30 years earlier. But yeah, so The Goonies. First Broadway musical you remember being obsessed with as a kid? Maybe Hamilton? I was like 12 when Hamilton was becoming a thing. Every musical that's been on Broadway in the last 10 years, I was obsessed with at some point. First place you visit when you go back home to the Isle of Man. There is an amazing cafe called The Shed in a town called Laxey in the Isle of Man, and it's on the beach, and it's called The Shed because it's just a shed, and you sit outside and you sit on the beach and you have really nice coffee and like cakes, and I really love it. It's my favorite place, with my dog and my mum. First audition. First professional audition was Heartstopper, but my first ever audition was for an amateur production of The Wizard of Oz when I was 6 years old, and they called me back in for a recall to play one of the Munchkins, and I cried and I didn't go back in, and I didn't end up doing it. The process of doing the audition was too much for me. So then when I went back in for the recall, I just couldn't do it, so I cried. First on-screen kiss was the kiss in Heartstopper, first of many with Kit. I think the first one we filmed was the rain kiss, and it was really cold, and my lips were quivering, so. With Kit, it's so easy, like we're so used to each other now that I think it's different than if it was kissing someone else, but I just have a mint. First time I met Kit Connor was our chemistry read in Windsor in February 2021. He was very lovely. And they'd already auditioned someone else that day, and I came in halfway through the day, and so everyone already knew each other. And I felt very stressed out, but it was very nice, and it clearly went well. First improvised moment that made it into Heartstopper. A lot of the show is quite improvised. There's a lot of montages, and so in the script it'll just be like, Nick and Charlie play in the snow. A lot of it is improv. I am not the best at improv, especially like, I'm great at improv if I'm like not being so nice to someone, because that's easier, but like Heartstopper improv is just like a lot of like cushy nice stuff, so Kit is far better at that than me, so he leads it often. First person who'd answer if you texted the Heartstopper cast in a group chat. Maybe Karina? None of us are good communicators. Or Toby. Toby's a very late person, but he's quite responsive over text. First Marvel project you remember loving. I remember having in my iPod like a countdown calendar to go and watch the first Avengers film. And I'd watched the ones before that, but that was the one that I remember like being excited that my mum was going to take me to the cinema to watch the first Avengers film. First Marvel audition story. For Agatha, I had like 9 auditions. And so the first one was a self-tape. I didn't know what it was for, it just was a Marvel thing. And it was the scene in episode 1 where Agatha is interrogating me. And I was like, this is not a Marvel project, it's about a police story. And so that was my first audition of many. First scene you filmed with Catherine Hahn for Agatha All Along. It was the scene where we go and pick up Patty from her psychic place. I had the best day, and it was terrifying because my first day on set was with Patti LuPone and Catherine Hahn, and that was quite scary. First memory that comes to mind when you think of Patti LuPone. We went to the GLAAD Awards because Agatha won a GLAAD Award, and afterwards we took Patti LuPone to the Abbey, and she had the best night of her life in a room full of just gay people. I feel like that's Patty's at home there, and she had more energy than anyone else there. She was dancing with all the dancers, and I will never forget that night, taking Patti LuPone to the gay bar. First thing you've taken or kept from a set. This ring was my character ring for Billy in Agatha, and I stole it, and you're not getting it back. First text you sent today. There was some drama in my life a few days ago, and so I was filling my friends in on that, but you won't find out. It's great gossip. First thing you can tease about the Heartstopper movie, it's a movie. No, it is grown up more, but it's still Heartstopper. I think we're trying to really make it as cinematic as possible and finish the story in a nice way. First Marvel character you'd love to see Billy interact with next, Loki or someone. I think Billy and Loki would get on really well. Both like slightly mischievous in certain ways. First people you'd thank in an acceptance speech. My mum, my agent. There's a lot of other people, but there's probably the two main ones. These are my first tries. First time solving a Rubik's Cube in less than a minute on camera. I can do it in 2 minutes. 1 minute's not gonna happen, but 2 minutes I'll do it. There's so much pressure doing it on camera. Oh, it's not the easiest cube to do. Oh, that's wrong. I'm stressed now. Told you, less than 2 minutes. I can do it quicker than that, but that wasn't a great cube. Ooh, first time creating a playlist for Charlie Spring and Billy Maximoff on camera. I think I've got almost quite similar music taste. Charlie likes a lot of Tame Impala. Couldn't tell you songs, I don't listen to them. Billy would love a bit of Joni Mitchell. Ooh, Billy would listen to Brandi Carlile as well, and some Fleetwood Mac. Charlie would maybe have like a bit more rock, but like indie rock. Ooh, yeah, I mean, Olivia's amazing she creates amazing rock music, so I actually think Billy would love Ballad of a Homeschooled Girl. I think he'd love that. First time trying Carl's Jr. Never had a Carl's Jr. They said to me, they were like, oh, what American things haven't you tried? And I was like, I lived in this country for 2 years, basically, so I've tried a lot, but I haven't tried this. A waffle, oh, it's still warm. The waffle fry here has to be Heinz. That's what it says, it's not me saying that, but it does also have to be Heinz. Though I quite like a cheap, nasty vinegary ketchup, like on a really like cheap, nasty burger. Yeah, that's great. Maybe a bit too salty, but okay, what's in here? Oh, these are normal fries. You get both in the meal. You get fries and waffle fries. I'd put those fries below a McDonald's fry, above a Burger King fry. Okay, now the burger. Smells like those burgers that, do you get them here with like the microwavable burgers? They're called Rustlers at home and they are gross, and that's what this smells like. What's in it? Okay, we've got, is that onion ring, bacon and cheese? And ooh, interesting. Yeah, it's all right. It's a bit sweet. I find often American burgers are quite sweet. It's good. Well done, Carl's Jr. Out of 5 stars, I'd give it a 3.5 star. I just don't think anyone could ever knock McDonald's off, but not American McDonald's. American McDonald's is not it, but British McDonald's is good. Thanks, BuzzFeed, and now go and watch Agatha All Along on Disney Plus, please. You don't have to watch it, but it would be nice if you did.